Summer is finally here, and I love all 4 seasons, but I'm genuinely a fan of June through September. But if I'm being honest, I'm also exhausted. I'm still catching up from spring cleaning. Every year around this time, I start seeing summer bucket lists with 47 things to do before Labor Day, and instead of feeling inspired, I feel behind before I even started. So this year, I'm gonna try something just a little bit different. Instead of creating a list of things to accomplish over the next 3 months, I made 8 simple rules. These are just a few rhythms that are gonna help me stay connected to God, to myself, and to my husband in a season where life can be so overstimulating, so messy, expensive, and it can feel like I missed it before I even realized it. When I became a wife 8 summers ago, I loved all of the cute seasonal activities and dates and things to do with my husband until they made me realize that when I'm exhausted and not my best and I'm overstimulated, he's getting my leftovers. And I don't want to be that wife again this year. This week, I'm treating these rules like an experiment. Can a few small shifts help me slow down enough to actually enjoy the season that I'm already living in? So come spend the first week of summer with me. Not been doing each one every day. Some are easier than others. Like they're keeping a book close by is pretty easy or normal and natural for me. Being conscious about what I'm grateful for has been a little bit harder. Luckily, I've been writing it down. But anyway, that's a little bit harder for me. And I'm realizing that these rules don't necessarily make my life less busy, but they are helping me notice my life while I'm busy. So for example, the boys have been the boys this week. I mean, they're 5 and 2, and they're acting like 5 and 2-year-olds act. And I was very tempted yesterday. We had a very full day after having a super fun play day, but I was very tempted to feel like this wasn't a good day. That it was stressful, that it was chaotic. Was it worth all of the driving and the packing and just like being out of our own space, just all the effort that it took? Like I was really tempted to be like, is this really worth it anymore for them? But remembering like, no, we had popsicles outside, like we played, we had fun, we enjoyed the nice weather. Like there were good, it may not have been an entirely good day, but there were good moments in the day. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done those things like eaten outside or read a book or had a dance party after dinner if I didn't have these habits and these rules in place, if I wasn't practicing these summer rules. but I don't think I would have appreciated them as much, because like it's just, this is showing me so far, just 4 days in, how like the power of intention and of habit and of mindset, that like even if these are things that I was doing beforehand, like I wasn't giving them enough weight. I was putting too much weight on the hard stuff and the hard moments throughout the day and throughout the week. So I'm thankful, like, you know, the habits may not be changing my life, or the rules may not be changing my life, but they're changing me, and that's pretty valuable. Good job. Yeah. Love song, how to write you a love song, and I still need help trying to love myself. How to write in a oh. Had our marriage meeting last night, and we ended the meeting with a couple of tears. The more I was following these summer rules, the more they started exposing things in me that I wasn't expecting, like insecurities and fears. And it's not even really weaknesses, but it's more of my needs. And I know that, you know, sharing your needs is one of the most vulnerable things you can do with someone that you love and you trust. And of course, I love and trust my husband. And it's not even really a matter of me not loving and trusting him, but I really feel like it comes down to like me trusting the Lord. And of course, trusting the people, my husband, a lot of times the people that he gives me. And I realized that it comes from a place of like me really trying to stuff my needs down. And this is something that I've struggled with in our marriage from the beginning, of like wanting to be so badly, wanting to be a team player and be a good partner. And obviously those are good things to be and do. But I also need to communicate my needs, and I need to give him opportunities to help me. And a lot of times I feel like I'm like that way with the Lord too, where I'm like, God, I want to be a good daughter to you. I want to be, you know, a good like co-heir and build your kingdom and things like that. And like, again, good things to do, but like I really struggle with doing things for God versus doing things with him. And I think it shows up and is often revealed in my marriage as well. So I've like kind of, you know, this comes from me being raised hyper independent, just feeling like I can make things work and that I don't need help. And like, it's my job to give and to pour into other people and build other people up. And I have a hard time receiving from the Lord, from my husband, and from others. And when I'm overwhelmed and stressed and overstimulated, I'm not showing up as the wife and mom that I want to be, that I believe the Lord has called me to be. And it's funny because my husband noticed it and I didn't realize how much my stress was bubbling over. And he had said something last night, like along the lines of like, yeah, I'm sad that you feel like you can't ask for what you need. Like, I know that it's tough times, but like, we can make things work. Like, but if you don't tell me, I can't do it. I can't, we may not be able to get every single activity, every single thing that you want, but like we can do something. That hit me hard because from where I was sitting, I thought I was kind of saving him stress and saving our family money or like managing things well. But from his perspective as a partner and as a teammate, I'm carrying things alone that we're supposed to carry together.
His favorite color is green. Green.
Green's your favorite color?
Yeah.
W-A-R. Flip. Oh. I'm double! Okay, we gotta do it again. W-A-R. Flip. Wow, that's you. You got it. All those cards. So after a week of trying these rules, I definitely think that they worked, but just not in the way that I expected. If I could only keep 3 of them for the rest of the summer, it would be keeping a book close by for sure. One for me, one for the boys. And it would be eating outside as much as possible. So not just once a week, but as much as possible, which would mean a lot of days for my boys, breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. And then asking my husband one intentional connection question each week, especially on the weeks where we don't have date nights. Out of those 3, the one that surprised me the most was eating outside because it took almost no effort. It just was a mindset shift for me and realizing like it's the same amount of prep and mess, honestly, but it's just a low effort, honestly, no effort way with like a high impact. And it was a really cool reminder or really like apparent and obvious daily reminder to me of how like the most meaningful things a lot of times with family is really simple. Like it doesn't take really much effort. It's just a matter of changing your environment, doing the same thing that you do, but just in a different way. And honestly, following these rules for the past week, like I went into it seeing like, all right, let's see how this affects me. If this makes me kind of a slower person, helps me to slow down for summer. But the most meaningful part of following these rules was learning my family, was becoming more curious about who they are and what their needs were. I learned that my boys need things to look forward to, that they need rhythm, they need small traditions, they need, dance parties, they need a fun thing to do that's easy, like eating outside, and they need to have like a sense of what's coming next. And I learned that I need more structure than I thought that I did, and that I need to be honest about my needs instead of trying to carry everything on my own and not trying to be Wonder Woman in my marriage or for my family. And I learned that being a good wife doesn't mean being low maintenance, but it's looking for and taking advantage of opportunities to be a good partner and to invite my husband into partnership the same way that I love helping him and I want to help him and I want to be there for him. I need to give him those same opportunities. And I learned that our marriage doesn't always need big moments to stay connected, which is, I knew that, but I think just being conscious of it through these rules just made me realize how much even simple conversations can build connection, can lead to playfulness, and can lead to laughter. that can all be a catalyst from like one good intentional connection question, like, hey, what are you thinking that you haven't told anybody else this week? Or, like, what's top of your mind? Or like, what's one really hard thing that you've been keeping to yourself lately? And if bucket lists are overwhelming to you or they kind of have you feeling behind, like maybe you don't need one this summer. Just scrap it for 2026. Maybe you just need a little more rules. Maybe you need something to catalyst and give you some rhythm or like a little bit more margin or laughter or like time outside, just like small things that are simple but still really meaningful. And it's not really about, of course, us curating and scheduling what a fun, memorable summer would be for us, for our marriages, for our families. But it's really getting curious enough to notice the summer that the Lord has already given us and letting that be super meaningful, just as valuable as those big events and those bucket list items that we see on Pinterest and we all have in our Apple Notes. So if you're thinking of any rules that you would want to put in place for this summer, you still have so much time. I would love to hear below what rules you're considering, or even just one rule you're considering for yourself, for your family, for your marriage for this summer. And until the next video, I'll see you on Instagram or TikTok. Bye!